Hey friends! Welcome to another video. Today I am going to be painting yet another portrait of my favorite little potato, my corgi, Newbie. He is always so full of sass and makes my day every single day, so you can only imagine that painting him is one of my favorite things. So one of the things I wanted to talk about while I create this portrait with oils of my favorite little potato dog is painting advice that I hate. And the reason why I hate it is because it works and it's so aggravating. I'm sure these are not going to be revolutionary, but let me know in the comments if this rings a bell with you. Guaranteed, you've heard most of these at some point, but it doesn't take away the truth that they do work, but it doesn't make it any less annoying. So the first one is basically practice, practice, practice. As an artist, you've inevitably heard that phrase, right? Practice, practice, practice. It's a well-recognized piece of advice that is often met with eye rolling and frustration. I know that's how I often feel about it. However, practice is a crucial component of an artist's growth and development. Practice is fundamental to the improvement of any skill, and art is no exception. Practice allows you to develop and fine-tune your artistic abilities. It's a time of learning where you can discover what works and, also very importantly, what doesn't. Making mistakes and experiencing failures, they're a natural part of the learning process. And through that practice, you're going to learn from these mistakes and grow as an artist. But the thing is that it's not always easy. It's not always fun, right? It comes with growing pains. Making mistakes, yes, is important because you can learn from them, but making mistakes is not fun. Furthermore, practice does lead to progress. And for me, that is the most important thing to remember. The more you practice, the more you will improve. And with time and dedication, you're going to learn new techniques and shortcuts that are going to make your art unique. Practice encourages experimentation and exploration, which will always help you to discover your style and your voice. And as I'm sure all of us know, while practice is essential, it's not always enjoyable. And that's where that, hated advice comes in. It can be discouraging to see little progress or to feel like you're not really making any headway. It can be easy to get stuck in a rut and feel like you're not improving. However, it's really important to remember that progress isn't linear. Improvement takes time, and it's essential to keep practicing, even when it feels like you're not making any significant strides. While it can be challenging and frustrating at times, it's essential to keep pushing forward. So remember that practice makes progress, and with time and dedication, you will see improvement in your art. So keep practicing. Don't give up on your artistic journey. So the next piece of art advice that I hate, because it works, is that it's not always about the tools. It's how you use them. So let's unpack this one a little bit. As an artist, it's easy to get caught up in that belief that having the best tools will automatically make your artwork better. From the perfect brush to the highest quality paper and paint. It's so easy to get lost in that search for perfect materials. However, the reality is it's not always about the tools you have. It's how you use them. And the truth is that no tool is perfect. There's always going to be something better out there. And as an artist, your creativity is what sets you apart. It's what makes your artwork unique and special. And while having high quality tools can make the artistic process easier, it's your creativity that makes your artwork stand out. And learning to work with what you have can be a challenge, but it's also incredibly rewarding. It forces you to think outside the box and come up with, creative solutions to your problems. Instead of relying on a specific tool or material, you can learn to adapt and use what you have to create something beautiful. And at the end of the day, there are no magic wands in art. There's no one tool or material that will automatically make your artwork better. It's how you use those tools that you have and how you apply your creativity. So don't get caught up in that search for the perfect tool, the perfect paint, the perfect paper. Instead, focus on developing your skills and creativity. Experiment with different tools and materials and learn to adapt with what you have. With time and practice, you'll learn to make the most of what you have and create beautiful artwork that showcases your unique style and creativity. And the final piece of painting art advice that I hate because it's right and it's annoying is that you can't just wait for inspiration. As an artist, you might have experienced that frustrating feeling of waiting for inspiration to strike. You might sit down at your desk or your easel, ready to create, but inspiration just isn't there. And then you start to feel like you're not good enough and you're not a real artist. And you go through that familiar downward spiral. But the truth is, waiting for inspiration is not the answer. Inspiration can be fickle. It's not something that can be turned on and off like a faucet. Sometimes you may feel inspired, and then others you might not. Waiting for inspiration to strike is like waiting for lightning to strike sometimes. Sometimes you just never know when it's going to happen. The problem with waiting for inspiration is that it leads to inaction. You might find yourself making excuses for not creating art, telling yourself that you're just not feeling inspired. And this can kind of become a dangerous cycle that keeps you from creating anything at all. If you want to improve your art, you can't rely on inspiration alone. You need to be willing to push through that wall and create art even when you don't feel like it. This can be easier said than done, but it's an essential part of your artistic process. Pushing through that wall means showing up every day and doing the work, or maybe not every day, but a consistent schedule that works for you and your life, even when you don't feel like it. It means being willing to create even when that inspiration isn't there. It means accepting that not every piece of art you create is gonna be a masterpiece. And you know what? That's okay. Creating art when you don't feel like it is a way of training yourself to be disciplined and dedicated to your craft. And you are going to end up making huge leaps and bounds if you can actually show up even when you don't feel like it. So yeah, those are 3 pieces of art advice. And ultimately this can kind of apply to a lot of things as well, but definitely applies to the art practice. But 3 pieces of advice that I hate, and the reason why I hate them is because they're right. They work. And somehow that makes them really annoying because it means that you sometimes have to, fight through the sticky parts of being an artist and working your way through these hurdles that want to hold you back, but we gotta jump past them and run and grow and all that good stuff. So let me know if these resonated with you at all. Maybe you've got art advice of your own that you can't stand because it's right, it works. So leave me a comment if you do, and maybe I'll do another video like this in the future where we have a big compilation from a bunch of different artists, the advice that they hate because it works. So thank you so much for going on this journey with me and watching me paint yet another portrait of my favorite pup, Newbie. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I've got lots of other videos where I've got painting, happening while talking about different stuff. So if that resonates with you, go to the next video and I will see you there. Thanks for watching, my friend. Stay magical.